Hey, Joe here from Home Studio Corner. I want to show you today how you can become a beatboxer without having to be talented at beatboxing. You just have to come up with the idea and then use something like impact or some kind of sampler to create the looping part of it, and you can just create the one-time sound and then get the most out of it. So this all came from a challenge I was doing in my VIP membership where we all had to do a production of the same song. And I didn't feel like going all, I wanted to do something more electronic. Didn't want to bring in drums and bass for this one. I just wanted to kind of sit in my studio one night and just come up with something. And so I pulled up Impact, which, to be completely honest and fair, this will not, I don't know Impact super well. It's kind of on my to-do list to learn and dive into more. But I'm able to just kind of poke around enough to make some things happen. So I pulled up, let's see, the electronic kit music layer, and just came up with a really simple groove using like the big bass drum, clap, snare drum, rim shot maybe. Just a really, really simple part, just using kind of the stock sounds that are there. So the song's in 6/8, so I just did kind of a, quote, 4 on the floor with the kick drum hitting on every beat of all 6 beats of the measure, and then added in some snares and some other things. So this is what the original kind of baseline beat sounded like. Super simple. In my head, the whole time I was thinking through this song, I wanted it to be in kind of a straight 6/8, but then I wanted the subdivisions to have a swing to them, kind of a triplet thing, a ba 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 ba. And I tried playing it with acoustic guitar, and I just couldn't play fast enough and maintain that rhythm, because it's a weird strumming thing. Tried different picks, that didn't work. And then I thought, okay, maybe I'll use like a keyboard and have some sort of arpeggiator that's going daddaloo, 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 daddaloo. I couldn't really get that to work. And then I was just kind of sitting here, and I started going tick 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 tick. And I said, that's it. I just want that sound. So let me walk you through kind of how I did it. Let me show you what it. Let me show you how I walked through it, what I did, then I'll show you how it sounded in the final thing. So if you look down here, I just kind of got on a couple of tracks, listened to a click, and I literally just recorded myself on the microphone going like this. Over and over, probably for 16 bars, until I got came back and edited it down to like one good bar. Then I just did it again with a second one and panned them left and right. And so that's it. Now, in the past, when I've done something like this, I'll just take this, chop it up where I want it, and then just press D to loop it out. And that's a totally legit way of working, but it's a little clunky. And if you want to change anything, you have to kind of go back. So I'm starting to explore using Impact more for my loops. But I realized I can import this into Impact. So I took this, soloed it, just exported it as a single measure long WAV file. Then I brought that WAV file into Impact. So if I go over to this next layer, Impact has like 1,000 layers. You can see there's a pad here labeled Ticka. And when I hit that, guess what you get? Oh, hang on. Sorry, it was not soloed. When I hit that, guess what you get? And if you look up higher, in this little window here, you can see this is the file that I created. I brought it in, and then I just you can slide the edit points around until you get the exact point that you want. And you can set up a lot of different settings on it. But I basically set it up to play that, and then I can just trigger that with a MIDI note whenever I want to hear that. Same thing before. I wanted some kind of reverse cymbal thing. And there's a few reverse cymbals in here that sound okay, like this. But I thought it'd be cooler if it was like a vocal reverse thing. I've done that before, and I call it a slurp. So I did the same thing, recorded myself going, and did it twice so I can have one left and one right. Bounced that down, brought it in, and very cool. So you don't have to bounce it down and drag it in. You can also record it into sample one and then bring it over. It's a little complicated. I haven't quite figured that out. That'll come in a future video. But suffice it to say, even if you just want to take the tracks like this and just loop them out like that, you can actually come up with some really interesting, and the biggest thing to me is you can come up with unique production ideas that don't require you to have anything but a microphone. So maybe you've got a basic loop that you've brought in from Apple Loops, or you created something in Easy Drummer, but you want to give it some life and something that's unique. There will never be another song in the world that has this exact tick 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 with exactly the way I sang it, the way my mouth sounds, the way it was recorded. So even though these drum samples have probably been used a bajillion times, I've been able to make it a little bit unique between the and the tick. So it's got a little bit of a beatbox flavor on top of a more traditional sounding beat. All that to say, let me play what the final version sounded like. Here it comes. And then in the context of the rest of the song,
you came home crying again. It didn't go your way.
So there you go. You can be a fairly rhythmless white guy like me and still come up with something remotely cool using just weird sounds out of your mouth. Thanks for watching. I'm Joe from Home Studio Corner. See you in the next one.
It all, it was